missed, and they're either wives or there's evidence that they're wives, but not proof that they're wives. And we're going to show you what they are and show you the evidence so you can go look it up for yourself. Okay, so if you add all these numbers, this could mean 16, not counting concubines. It could mean 18. It could mean 22. It could mean 32. Mm-hmm. So we really don't know the number of wives Muhammad had. Various commentators have given different numbers. Al-Tabari, Volume 9, page 126-27, said that Muhammad married 15 women, and he consummated his marriage with 13 of them. So there are 2 he married, but they divorced or died before he consummated the marriage. Okay. Bukhari 1-282, page 172-173 says that at least at one time Muhammad had 9 wives. Okay. Another thing, Muhammad had 9 wives, according to Sahih Muslim, 2, 3455, 3456. And anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of these wives and teach you a little bit about them and what they're about, so you could understand, what kind of man, Muhammad had, with his relationships with his wives.
All right.
Well, the first one we're not going to say too much about. There's Khadija. It is referenced in a number of places, and Aisha said that she envied Khadija because Muhammad loved her a lot. She died 3 years before Aisha married Muhammad, and she's mentioned in Bukhari 5, 164-165, page 103, and Sahih Muslim 4, 5971, page 1297. The second wife on our list is Sada bint Zama, and she is mentioned in Sahih Muslim 3451, page 747. Bukhari 3, 269, page 154, and 3853, page 29. Sahih Muslim 2, 2958, page 651, and also the Sahih Muslim Volume 2, footnote 1918, page 748, says that probably Aisha was married to Muhammad before her, but Aisha did not enter Muhammad's house till after Sada was married to Muhammad. So Muhammad married Aisha when she was 6, but didn't consummate the marriage until she was 9 years old. And in between that time, he probably married Sada. Okay. Now, Sada's ex-husband was named Al-Sakran bi Amr bi Abd Shams, but he became a Christian in Abyssinia, and he died there. This is in Al-Tabari, Volume 9, page 128. So there's some question as to whether they divorced and then Muhammad married Sada, or whether the husband was a Christian and then died, and then she married Muhammad. Sada, at least later, after she was one of the first ones married, and after 10 years or so, physically called Aisha called Sada a fat, huge lady, is the term she used, which doesn't sound very nice. And Bukhari 6, 318, page 300. Okay. Now, when Sada was old, she was afraid that Muhammad would divorce her, so she gave her turn to Aisha, according to Abu Dawud 2, 2130, page 572. So that way she wouldn't be turned out by Muhammad and be destitute. At least now we don't have evidence that Muhammad did divorce her, but that was her fear that would happen.
So when you say to some of our viewers, I think I understand, but when you say here, and people can see it on the chart, so she gave her turn to Aisha, what does that mean?
That means that, Muhammad rotated which wife he would spend the night with, and so she gave up her turn with Muhammad. Okay, so she could still be married to him and get the support.
So the wives, kind of in a rotation style, went to bed with him on different nights. And so I guess he had to keep it in order to keep everybody happy or something like that.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't get divorced. She just gave up her turn.
Right. And to Aisha, who Muhammad probably prefer to be with anyway.
Right. Okay.
All right. Now, next we'll talk about Aisha. She was Abu Bakr's daughter. Now, Abu Bakr was the first caliph. He was the first leader of Muslims after Muhammad died. And she married Muhammad when she was 6 years old, and we have a whole video and documentation showing that. She went to his house when she was 9. Among other places, Bukhari 7, 88, page 65, Sahih Muslim 2, 3309 and 3310, 3311, page 715 and 716. Now, some Muslims would say, well, Aisha was a virgin when she married him, well, being 9 years old. I think that's certainly true. And saying that was done for political reasons to cement an alliance with Abu Bakr. Well, that's kind of baloney, because Abu Bakr was the first convert to Islam, and he was already a loyal follower of Muhammad before Aisha married him. So I don't think that was for that reason at all. Okay, she's mentioned in many, many places, probably too many places to count. But after she's married Muhammad, Aisha played with dolls in the presence of Muhammad. Sahih Muslim 4, 5981, page 1299. One rationale that was given in the footnote I found kind of interesting in Sahih Muslim Volume 2, footnote 1859, page 715. It says, it was some exceptional circumstances that Hadrat Aisha was married to the Prophet, ... The second point to be noted is that Islam has laid down no age limit for puberty, as it varies with countries and races due to climate, heredity, physical, and social conditions. And this footnote also tries to get support on this from the disreputable Kinsey report on sexual behavior in the human female, which was done in the West some time ago. So they're actually appealing to that to try to justify why it was just fine for this 50-year-old man, Muhammad, to have sex with this 9-year-old girl. Okay, all wasn't always well with Muhammad and Aisha. One time Muhammad himself deliberately struck Aisha, and to quote, on the chest, which caused me pain, according to Sahih Muslim 2, 2127. Okay, that's kind of, well, that's not a good place to strike a woman. The circumstances behind that were that Muhammad got up in the middle of the night to went out. Don't know why, but anyway, Aisha, he thought she was asleep, and she saw him, and she snuck out after him. And she came back to try to beat him back so he wouldn't know that she was trailing him, to see if he would sneak off and go to any of the wives or something like that, perhaps. And anyway, she was breathing heavy, and he knew she wasn't asleep, and he was mad at her, so he struck her on the chest, which caused her pain. Mm-hmm. Or that's how he treated her.
Of course, we've already documented in other video shows we've done on Islam, from Islamic sources, that it's all right to beat your wife and to hit her like a stallion camel. Mm-hmm. This is something that we've documented extensively, and it was in the earlier shows that we've done in this particular series. But
right.
Anyway, go ahead.
There was some discord and jealousy among some of the wives. One of the other wives gave Muhammad this kind of treat that he liked. And Aisha told a few of the other wives, and she also told Muhammad falsely that his breath smelled bad and to stay away from it. And it was kind of a conspiracy. And after Aisha started this, and later Muhammad found out about it, he got so mad at all his wives that he stayed away from his wives for a month, or that is, 29 days. This is according to Ibn Majah 3, 2060, page 241. And Ibn Majah 3, 2063, 243. And it says this is the context of when Surah 51 was written. Okay. Now, being a wife of Muhammad did have its advantages. One advantage is Aisha had a number of slaves. She at least had one servant who cooked for her during the time of the delegation from the Banu Mustalik, and that's Abu Dawud 1, 142, page 34. And Aisha had a Muslim slave she later freed named Abu Yunus. Now, Abu Yunus, that's a male slave, so she had some male slaves as well as female slaves. No evidence that anything sexual went on with the male slaves. It was kind of interesting that, she could have male slaves around.
Oh, and Steve, I want the viewers to notice that this slave transcribed from Aisha her copy of Surah 2 from the Quran, of which Surah 2, verse 208, was different than today's version of the Quran. And to back this up, Aisha even said